Welcome to Stoic Psyche Wisdom. Every man is born, but not every man is awakened. Every man breathes, but not every man truly lives. And fewer still will ever rise to become warriors. Not because they lack strength, but because they lack discipline, vision, and the courage to master themselves. You see, the world does not crown warriors. It does not hand you respect, love, or greatness. The world tempts you into weakness. It whispers distractions into your ear, feeds you indulgence, and then laughs when you collapse under the weight of your own laziness. But there are men, very few, who do not bend to this. They carve their own path. They forge themselves in silence. They do not seek comfort. They do not crave approval. They live by rules, unshakable, ancient rules that separate them from the common crowd. And these rules are not new. They echo from the philosophy of the Stoics, from the discipline of samurai, from the resilience of soldiers, and from the stories of men who chose hardship over ease, principle over pleasure, and truth over illusion. This is what we will uncover today: the rules of a warrior. Not fantasy, not empty motivation, but timeless principles that, if followed, will transform you into a man that cannot be broken, a man that others respect even if they fear him, even if they misunderstand him. These rules are not about violence. They are about strength, strength of mind, strength of body, strength of spirit. Because a true warrior does not conquer others. He conquers himself. So listen carefully. Take these rules, not as entertainment, but as a code to live by. Because one day, life will test you, and when it does, you will either crumble like the masses or stand immovable, unshaken, unstoppable. The choice is yours. Rule 1. Master yourself before you seek to master the world. The first and greatest rule of a warrior is this: you must rule yourself before you ever attempt to rule anything else. Too many men today dream of control over wealth, women, status, and power. They fantasize about bending the world to their will. But how can you hope to command the world when you cannot even command your own impulses? You want to lead, yet you cannot lead yourself out of bed in the morning. You want respect, yet you waste hours on distractions no one will remember tomorrow. You want strength, yet you feed your body weakness and poison, then wonder why it fails you. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who commanded legions and ruled the vast Roman Empire, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." He ruled over millions of men, yet he reminded himself daily that the hardest empire to govern is the empire of the self. And this is where most men fail. They look outward, not inward. They want to control the external, but neglect the internal. The enemy. Within. Let me tell you a truth. Your greatest enemy is not the competition, not the government, not society, not women, not fate. Your greatest enemy is your undisciplined self. It is the self that says, "Sleep a little longer," the self that says, "Just one more scroll, one more video, one more indulgence," the self that knows what is right, but chooses what is easy. And this enemy, if left unchecked, will destroy you quietly, not in one dramatic blow, but through a slow erosion of your potential, your masculinity, your soul. The warrior recognizes this enemy, and he declares war on it daily. Discipline. The first weapon of a warrior. The modern man thinks discipline is punishment. He thinks it is something harsh, something that steals joy. But the warrior knows the opposite. Discipline is freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave to lust, to laziness, to distraction. With discipline, you are free, free to focus, free to create, free to stand firm while others collapse. Discipline is the first weapon of a warrior, not a sword. not a gun, but the ability to look at his emotions, his impulses, his cravings, and say, "You do not command me. I command you." This is mastery. The modern battlefields, today's warriors do not fight only on battlefields of blood and steel. They fight in gyms, in classrooms, in businesses, in their own homes, in their own minds. When your alarm rings, that is a battlefield. Will you rise with discipline, or will you surrender to the pillow? When junk food tempts you, that is a battlefield. Will you nourish your body like a warrior, or poison it like a coward? When lust drags you toward empty pleasure, that is a battlefield. Will you waste your energy, or will you channel it into creation, into strength, into your mission? Do not deceive yourself. These small battles are the war. Lose them daily, and you will lose your life, not instantly, but slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up a hollow man, wondering where your fire went. Training the mind self-mastery is not just physical, it is mental. A warrior trains his thoughts as much as his body. The average man lets his mind wander anywhere. He consumes endless noise, feeds on gossip, fears the future, replays the past. The warrior, however, sharpens his mind like a blade. He controls what he consumes. He controls what he allows into his inner world. He knows that whatever he allows in will eventually shape who he becomes. Epictetus, the Stoic slave turned philosopher, put it bluntly, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you cannot govern your thoughts, you are a prisoner, even if you appear free. The mirror test ask yourself this tonight. When you look in the mirror, can you honestly say you command yourself? Do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do you follow through on your own word? Or do you lie to yourself daily, saying, "Tomorrow I'll start, next week I'll change, one day I'll be great"? If your own reflection does not respect you, why should the world? A warrior does not lie to himself. His word is law, especially to himself. Why this rule matters. Most understand this clearly. Without mastering yourself, all other rules collapse. If you cannot discipline your desires, women will manipulate you. If you cannot govern your time, distractions will rob you of your destiny. If you cannot conquer your laziness, opportunity will slip through your fingers. Every weakness in the self invites defeat in the world, but when you rule yourself, you become untouchable. No temptation can sway you. No hardship can break you. No man can truly conquer you, because you have already conquered yourself. This is the first law of warriors. It is the foundation upon which all others stand. Master yourself. Your body, your mind, your emotions, your desires. Do this, and you will already be greater than 90% of men alive today. Rule 2. Embrace suffering as your teachera. Man who avoids suffering will never grow. A man who hides from pain will never be strong. And a man who fears discomfort will never be free. The second rule of a warrior is this: do not run from suffering. Embrace it. The lie of modern comfort. We live in an age where men are told the goal of life is comfort. Make enough money so you never struggle. Find shortcuts so you never sweat. Consume so you never feel empty. But this lie has made men soft. Comfort has not brought strength. Comfort has not brought greatness. It has brought weakness, addiction, depression, and despair. The Stoics understood something modern men have forgotten. Suffering is not the enemy. It is the forge. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Pain, hardship, failure, rejection, loss, these are not curses. They are teachers. They are the fire that burns away weakness and reveals the steel beneath. The warrior's training ground. Warrior does not wait for life to test him. He seeks challenge on purpose. He lifts heavy, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. He endures cold showers, fasting, discipline, not for pleasure, but for growth. He faces rejection and failure, not with shame, but with courage, because he knows each scar is another layer of armor. Pain is not punishment. It is preparation, reframing pain. The average man says, "Why me?" The warrior says, "Try me." The average man curses difficulty. The warrior thanks it. Because the warrior knows that the very thing others flee from is what makes him strong. While others waste energy escaping discomfort, he grows through it. This is the paradox. What you fear is what will free you. Modern softness versus ancient hardness. Look at history. Our ancestors faced hunger, war, cold, disease. Life itself was suffering. Today, most men panic if the Wi-Fi cuts out. They complain if their coffee order is wrong. They crumble under the smallest inconvenience. Do you see the tragedy? Comfort has made men weaker than their grandfathers. The warrior rejects this softness. He welcomes discomfort daily. Small disciplines, hard work, challenges, because he knows comfort is a slow death. Why this rule matters? Because life will hurt you. No matter what you do, pain will find you. You will lose people. You will fail at something. You will be betrayed. You will age. You will die. If you fear suffering, life will break you. But if you embrace suffering, nothing can break you, because you will transform every wound into wisdom, every loss into strength. This is Rule 2. Do not flee from pain. Seek it, embrace it, and be transformed by it. Rule 3. Speak little, act much. The third rule of a warrior is simple, but almost no one lives it. Speak less, act more. The noise of the weak look around today. The weak are loud. They boast, they argue. They post endlessly about what they will do, yet they do nothing. They speak of discipline, but their bodies are weak. They speak of money, but their wallets are empty. They speak of honor, but their actions betray them. The warrior wastes no breath on promises. He does not announce his plans. He moves in silence, and lets results speak louder than his words. The power of silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. When you are silent, no one can predict your moves. No one can weaponize your words again. No one can see your strategy until it is too late. Samurai had a saying, "Do not announce your blade. Let it flash only when it is time to strike." A warrior carries this principle. He does not speak of battles before they are won. Action over. Words, consider this. Every hour you spend talking about your dreams could have been spent building them. Every debate you waste energy on could have been another rep, another page, another dollar earned, another step forward. Words are cheap, action is costly, and therefore priceless. The warrior values deeds above all. He would rather be underestimated in silence than overestimated through noise. The discipline of the tongue. Do not mistake this rule. Speaking little is not about being timid, it is about discipline. The tongue is a wild weapon. Uncontrolled, it ruins reputations, destroys trust, and reveals weakness. A warrior disciplines his speech as much as his body. He does not gossip, he does not boast, he does not speak in anger, he does not waste time proving himself with words. When he speaks, it carries weight, because those who rarely speak are listened to when they finally do. The Stoic connection Epictetus warned his students, "Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary." Why? Because words create illusions. They make you feel as though you are moving forward when in truth you are standing still. The warrior rejects illusions. He measures life not by what he says, but by what he does. Why this rule matters because men today waste oceans of energy on noise. They debate, they argue, they post, they shout, and at the end of the day, they have built nothing. The warrior is different. He builds in silence. He acts while others speak, and by the time the world notices, it is too late to stop him. Rule 4. Control your emotions or be controlled by thema. Man who cannot govern his emotions is not a warrior. He is a slave. Anger, fear, jealousy, lust, despair, these are natural feelings. But when they command you, when they dictate your actions, you are no different from a puppet pulled by invisible strings. The danger of uncontrolled emotion. How many men have destroyed their lives in a single moment of uncontrolled emotion? A man in anger throws a punch and spends years in prison. A man in lust betrays his family and loses everything. Man in fear runs from opportunity and lives with regret. Forever, one moment of weakness can erase decades of discipline. The warrior understands this. He feels emotion, but he does not let it steer his life. Stoicism and emotional mastery. The Stoics taught that emotions themselves are not evil. It is our judgment of them that enslaves us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When insulted, the weak man reacts. The warrior pauses. When tempted, the weak man indulges. The warrior observes. When afraid, the weak man retreats. The warrior advances with caution, not panic. Emotions as signals, not commands." The warrior does not suppress emotions. He studies them. Anger signals that a boundary has been crossed. Fear signals that risk is present. Sadness signals that something of value has been lost. But signals are not commands. A warrior acknowledges the signal, then chooses his response consciously. Training. Calm under fire. The battlefield of life will test your emotions daily. At work, when insulted by a rival. At home, when disrespected by family. In love, when rejected or betrayed. The weak man explodes or collapses. The warrior breathes, centers himself, and responds with clarity. Control. In chaos, that is the mark of mastery. Why this rule? Matters because emotion blinds reason. A blind warrior will lose every battle. The man who controls his emotions controls his fate. The man who does not is controlled by anyone who knows how to push his buttons. This is Rule 4. Master your emotions, or be mastered by them. Rule 5. Live by principle, not by opinion. Warrior without principles is a weapon without aim. The world today is filled with noise, opinions, trends, influencers, propaganda. Most men drift like leaves in the wind, blown in whatever direction society demands. But the warrior, he does not drift. He is anchored in principle. The weakness of opinions change with the crowd. What society cheers today, it condemns tomorrow. If you live by opinion, you will constantly shift, never knowing who you are. The warrior refuses this. He stands on principles, timeless truths that do not bend with fashion. Examples of principles: discipline, overindulgence, honor over deceit, truth over comfort, strength over weakness, duty over desire. These are not opinions. They are laws the warrior carves into his soul. The Stoic foundation Epictetus warned his students not to seek approval, but to seek virtue. If you wish to be good, first believe that you are bad. In other words, stop living for applause and live for principle. A warrior may be mocked, rejected, or misunderstood, but as long as he lives by principle, he cannot be broken. Modern example: the cost of compromise. Look at men who sell their integrity for quick gain. They cheat to get ahead. They betray for comfort. They lie to be liked. At first, they may appear to win, but their victories are hollow, their lives unstable because they stand on sand, not stone. The warrior does not compromise principle for pleasure. He would rather lose with honor than win with deceit. Why this rule matters? Because in a world of confusion, the principled man becomes a pillar. Others may not agree with him, but they will respect him. And when storms come, it is the man of principle who stands while others fall. This is Rule 5. Live by principle, not by opinion. Rule 6. Respect all, fear none. The sixth rule of a warrior is balance. Respect every man, but fear no man. Respect as strength. The weak mistake respect for weakness. They think to respect another is to bow down, but the warrior knows. Respect is not submission. It is recognition. He respects others because he respects himself. He respects elders for their wisdom. He respects rivals for sharpening his skill. He respects the common man because every life has lessons. Respect is strength. It shows he does not need to belittle others to feel powerful. Fearlessness, misunderstood. Fearlessness is not arrogance. Fearlessness is not recklessness. It is the calm confidence that no man is above you and no man is beneath you. It is the realization that every man bleeds, every man suffers, every man dies. Why fear what is mortal? The warrior's presence when you live this way, respectful, but fearless. You carry a presence. People sense it. You do not grovel. You do not boast. You do not tremble. You stand equal, calm, unshaken. This presence earns allies, commands respect, and silences enemies. The Stoic view of fear Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most fear is illusion. The warrior knows this. He faces life with clear eyes, not haunted by fantasies of what might happen." Why this rule matters? Because the man who fears others will never be free. He will censor himself, shrink himself, and betray himself to please the powerful. The warrior refuses. He honors all men, but bows to none. This is Rule 6. Respect all. Fear none. Rule 7. Train. Daily, for life is wara. Warrior who does not train is a warrior preparing for defeat. Training is not a hobby. It is not something you do when convenient. It is not about vanity, or appearance, or impressing others. Training is survival. Training is war. The body as a weapon. The body of a warrior is his weapon. Would a swordsman allow his blade to rust? Would a marksman let his rifle decay? Then why do men let their bodies fall into weakness, fat, and fragility? Every day you fail to train, your weapon dulls. Every day you sharpen it. You increase your chance of victory. Over illness, over fatigue, over weakness, over death itself. The discipline of repetition training is not glamorous. It is repetition. The same push-ups, the same lifts, the same drills, the same sweat. The weak despise repetition. They grow bored, they crave novelty. The warrior embraces repetition, because he knows repetition is mastery. The mind as a weapon training is not only physical. The mind must also be sharpened, daily. Reading, meditation, writing, strategics, thought. The warrior feeds his mind truth, philosophy, discipline, never garbage. because in war muscles fail, but wisdom endures. Training as lifestyle. The weak train for summer. The warrior trains for life. He does not ask, "How can I look good?" He asks, "How can I be prepared for battle, for struggle, for the storms that will come?" This is not fitness. This is readiness. Why this rule? Matters because life is war. Every day is a battle against laziness, against temptation, against time. If you are not training, you are surrendering. This is Rule 7. Train daily, for life is war. Rule 8. Remember death. Daily a warrior who forgets death forgets life. The 8th rule is ancient, and yet it terrifies modern men. Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. The illusion of time most. Men live as though they are immortal. They waste hours on distractions. They put off their dreams until someday. They live like tomorrow is guaranteed, but death is certain, and tomorrow is not promised. The warrior keeps death close, not as despair, but as urgency. Stoic wisdom on death Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you meditate on death, every action sharpens. Petty arguments lose meaning. Small pleasures lose appeal. What matters rises to the surface. Honor, purpose, love, legacy. The samurai practice. The samurai would meditate daily on their death. They imagined being cut down in battle, burned in fire, drowned in rivers. Why? Because when you have already died in your mind, you no longer fear death in reality. You fight freely, live fully, and meet life boldly. Modern application. You do not need to face swords or battlefields to remember death. You only need to remember the clock is ticking. If you love someone, tell them today. If you have a dream, act on it today. If you are wasting time, cut it today. Because one day, sooner than you think, there will be no more someday. Why this rule matters? 'Cause death gives life meaning. The man who forgets death wastes his life. The warrior who remembers death lives with urgency, intensity, and gratitude. This is Rule 8. Remember death daily. Rule 9. Find purpose greater than yourself. Warrior without purpose is a blade without direction, sharp but dangerous to himself. Strength, discipline, and mastery mean little if they serve only the ego. A true warrior lives for something beyond his own comfort, his own pleasure, his own survival. The emptiness of selfish living. Look at the modern man who chases only his own pleasure. He eats, drinks, and indulges endlessly. He wastes time in endless entertainment. He chases money with no mission, women with no love, success with no meaning, and still he feels empty because man was not made for selfishness. He was made for purpose, the warrior's. Cause the warrior finds a cause greater than himself. It may be protecting his family, building a community, fighting for truth, serving a mission that will outlive him. When a man fights for more than himself, he becomes unstoppable because pain does not deter him, fear does not paralyze him, and even death cannot defeat him. The Stoic view of duty Marcus Aurelius said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." The warrior understands his life is connected to something larger. His duty extends beyond his own skin. Legacy versus pleasure, pleasure, dies with the moment. Legacy endures beyond the grave. The weak man spends his life chasing comfort. The warrior spends his life building something that will echo when he is gone. Why this rule matters? Because without purpose, Strength rots into arrogance, discipline decays into obsession, and life shrinks into emptiness, but with purpose. Every hardship becomes fuel. Every victory becomes meaningful. Every day becomes sacred. This is Rule 9. Find purpose greater than yourself. Rule 10. Master your emotions or be mastered by Thema. Warrior who cannot master his emotions is a weapon turned against himself. Strength of body is nothing without strength of spirit. Discipline of routine is nothing without discipline of mind. Battlefield is not only the field of combat, it is the inner world, anger, fear, lust, despair, pride, the enemy. Within, the greatest enemies of a man are not external. They are internal. Anger blinds judgment. Fear freezes action. Lust distracts from mission. Pride poisons wisdom. Despair kills hope. Man who has not conquered these within himself will be conquered by them in battle. Stoic control of emotion, e.eum. Stoics did not preach the killing of emotion. They preached mastery. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." To master emotions is not to feel nothing. It is to feel everything yet remain unmoved, unbroken, unruled. Techniques of mastery: pause before reaction. A single breath can prevent a lifetime of regret. Detach from outcome. Do your duty. Release the rest. Reframe pain as power. What others call suffering, the warrior calls training, anchored to values, not moods. Mood is fleeting. Duty is eternal. Why this rule matters? Because a man ruled by emotion is a slave, even if he wears the armor of a king. But a man who rules emotion is free, even if he is in chains. This is Rule 10. Master your emotions, or be mastered by them. Rule 11. Embrace pain as your teacher. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the teacher. The weak spend their lives avoiding pain, chasing comfort, numbing their suffering. The warrior runs toward it, because he knows pain carries wisdom. Pain, as the furnace of growth gold, is refined by fire. Steel is hardened by the hammer. The warrior is forged by pain. Every wound, every scar, every loss, these are not signs of defeat. They are signs of transformation. The Stoic attitude toward pain Epictetus, who lived with the pain of slavery, taught we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. The warrior does not ask, "Why me?" He asks, "How can this pain make me stronger?" Modern comfort versus ancient hardship. Modern men avoid discomfort. They complain when it rains. They avoid work when it hurts. They run from challenge, then wonder why they feel weak. But the warrior embraces hardship. He takes cold showers. He trains when sore. He works when tired. He endures when others quit. Because every ounce of pain strengthens his body, sharpens his will, fortifies his soul. Why this rule matters? Because pain is inevitable. If you resist it, it destroys you. If you embrace it, it transforms you. This is Rule 11. Embrace pain as your teacher. Rule 12. Walk with honor until the end. A warrior is not remembered for his victories alone, but for the way he carried himself. Strength fades. Beauty fades. Even life fades. But honor endures. What is honor? Honor is not what others say of you. It is what you say of yourself when no one is watching. It is keeping your word, even when costly. Standing for truth, even when hated. Choosing integrity over convenience. Living so that, when death comes, you have nothing to hide. The warrior's legacy honor is the one thing death cannot steal. Riches rot, power shifts, fame dies, but honor echoes in eternity. A man who walks with honor inspires generations. A man who abandons it is forgotten, no matter how great his victories. The Stoic path of honor Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. To waste life in dishonor is the greatest loss. To live in honor is to live fully, even if your years are few." Why this rule matters, because in the end, the warrior's life is not measured by length, but by depth, by how he lived, by what he stood for, by the example he left. This is Rule 12. Walk with honor until the end. Final thoughts. The code complete. You have now heard the 12 rules of the Warrior Code. Rule 1. Stand. Guard at the gate of your mind. Rule 2. Seek discomfort. Reject the easy path rule. 3. Build an inner fortress of discipline. Rule 4. Respect time, the warrior's most precious. Resource Rule 5. Choose your circle like you choose your weapons. Rule 6. Conquer the battlefield of the present. Moment. Rule 7. Train daily, for life is war. Rule 8. Remember death. Daily. Rule 9. Find purpose greater than yourself. Your Huun. 10. Master your emotions or be mastered by them. Rule 11. Embrace pain as your teacher. Rule 12. Walk with honor until the end. The way of the warrior. The code is not about violence. It is not about domination. It is not about the sword or the gun. It is about the spirit. The warrior is anyone who refuses weakness, embraces discipline, and walks with honor in a world that has forgotten both discipline and honor. Why this code matters. Now, we live in an age of distraction, weakness, and decay. Men are lost. Women are lost. Purpose is forgotten. The warrior code is not a relic of the past. It is the cure for the present. Your choice. Now the question stands before you. Will you be like the masses, weak, distracted, forgetful of death, slaves to emotion? Or will you rise, disciplined, purposeful, trained, walking with honor? The choice is yours, but remember, time is short, death is certain, and your life is your message to the world. The warrior's oath, say it with me, and let it brand itself on your soul. Will guard my mind. I will embrace discomfort. I will build discipline. Will treasure time. I will choose my circle. Will conquer the present. Will train daily. I will remember death. Will live for purpose. Will master my emotions. I will embrace pain. I will walk with honor. This is the way. This is the warrior code. And if you live it, your life will echo for eternity.